This is Remy, Bethany, Sparky, Dusty, and this is Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
What episode?
We're on episode 94.
We're getting close to that big 100.
We are getting close. For anyone on here, please, you can submit your questions down in the comments. We would like the age of the puppy needs to be under 2 and the breed. Okay, so let's...
it needs to be under 2?
Under 2 years old, yeah.
Okay.
That's.
I just want to reiterate that.
That's what we consider puppy. We'll answer those questions. Okie dokie. So we've got a few. Tammy says, 12-week-old mini golden doodle, so 12 weeks old, super young, has been sleeping in his crate since we brought him home a couple weeks ago. I'm getting ready to buy him a bigger crate. Will I need to crate train him again? No, you shouldn't need to.
If you buy the proper size crate, like the proper adjustment from the small to the bigger one, then you shouldn't. If you go from a crate that's 36 inches that he needs a few more inches, but you buy a 60-inch, then he's just going to be roaming and having potty accidents in there. So you're only trying to go up about 5 to 6 inches per crate that you get.
Yep.
And that's usually the size difference you want.
That's why, to save money, we do kind of suggest that you go ahead and get a crate the size that you think your dog will be, and then get a divider, which usually comes with a lot of them, to gradually,
and it's usually only the metal ones, not the plastic ones.
Yeah, the metal, not the plastic.
So if you're looking at plastic, you might have to consider a different version.
All right. Mr. Teddy says, love your Instagram feed. Thank you so much, Teddy.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, let's see. Nikki says, hello. 6-month-old corgi. Oh, we've had Nikki on before. Hi, Nikki. He can heal extremely well in the house with toys, dogs barking, noises, distractions, all that stuff, and out on our back patio. Woohoo! Okay. However, he's a big leash puller in the driveway, at the store, walking back from home. That's a really common one, the walking back from home.
Because they know exactly where they're going, and they're trying to get there as quickly as they can.
Tips for teaching solid loose leash walking. Not even a heel, just getting that loose leash for higher distractions. Slip leash versus flat collar. Slip leash, but a lot of people don't put slip leash on correctly, so we'll go over that. Let's see, what else I got sidetracked. Should he get sniff and playtime outside? Well, hang on a second. They have to sniff some. Just
not playtime. No.
Settle down. Outside before to lower the excitement levels. Ooh, that actually doesn't lower excitement levels. Oh, that's a huge Instagram myth that's floating around. See, I made Dusty mad.
You scared Dusty.
I know.
You took his bed away. You gave it to the fake balloon dog.
Actually, I just stopped petting him, so he took off. But anyway, he's like, man, mom's getting to be like mom, so I gotta go. Oh, I lost my microphone. I'm sorry, Josh. Don't be mad at me. There we go.
Honestly, they probably heard the mine. It's still gonna go right back in your shirt.
There we go. Okay. You know what? He said my microphone placement is perfect like every week.
Not that.
Yes, this, exactly. Exactly this. It just fell down a little. He commented how great my microphone placement was. Okay, anyway, he's not just being nice. Recommended timelines, 10 minutes for 5 days, 15 for 5 days. More. You have a 6-month-old corgi now. You can probably 20, 30 minutes twice a day. Yep. Okay, anyway, so you want to take any part of this, or do you want me to just dive in? Because once I dive in, there's no stopping me.
All right, so you're asking for whether slipper or flat collar. Always slip, because flat collar, because the wideness of the collar can damage the trachea if it falls down and creates constant tension.
Oh, I can show it on Dusty. You keep talking. Dusty!
Yep, please. And then if you're looking for a solid loose leash, a solid loose leash is a heel. That's a solid loose leash. If you're looking for a weaker loose leash where they're just starting to learn how to follow your movement, that would be like let's go work, meaning that move when I move, stop when I stop. Oh, Remy's coming to you. So that means like move when I move, stop when I stop.
You gave me Remy.
I was done holding. So he goes ahead of you. You wait till there's a little bit of tension. Create a little bit of counter tension, not down the spine, but off to the side of the head, and move back at a diagonal angle. And when he starts looking for you, mark your good, or excuse me, when he starts looking for you, pressures, let's go.
Your arm should be straight, don't bend up. And what he means is guide him by the head like a horse, not straight down the back.
That was much clearer than what I was going for.
I know.
So I can't talk, I guess. And then right when you get that focus, mark your good, give a treat, walk in the opposite direction. Just to give you an idea, when we do our second owner lesson at Puppy Academy, which is about maybe 15 days in the program, we have them do this walk, this Let's Go walk, for almost 2 to 3 weeks before we teach the dog heel. We have already taught them heel, but we have the owners practice this in their backyard, front yard, sidewalk, park area, whatever they can do for at least 2 to 3 weeks. So that's how long you'd be practicing that type of walk for before you'd be ready to move on. And if you're trying to get a really good heel, we definitely recommend hiring a private trainer or getting into some kind of group class where they'll teach you how to use different points of leverage.
Yeah. Now, I would say, talking about him with what he was talking about with the Let's Go work, try to be preventative. So if there's like a favorite bush that your puppy likes to go to, don't let him get all the way to the bush. Like when he's kind of looking at it, go ahead and turn. When you see a dog and he's looking at it from way down the street, go ahead and turn and then cross the street and do several turns, right? So if you want to get more into heel in your driveway, wherever it might be, with a puppy, you're going to need some food drive. If you don't have food drive outside because your puppy's overstimulated, you're gonna have to get, I think our opinion, a one-on-one trainer or try a group class to help you with that. But if your Corgi's got great food drive, this is the difference. You've been able to wean off of this in the house, or you may have never needed it, but not outside. Where you literally, let's say your dog's on the left, you're gonna hold the leash on the right, and you're gonna have food in the left, and you're gonna have to bend a bit at the knee, straight back, don't kill your back, and you're gonna have to lure, and you're gonna go heel, 1, 2, 3, good, release food, heel, 1, 2, 3, sit, good, like give food. And you're just going to keep doing that over and over again. So it's heavy food lure in the beginning when you're struggling. Again, this is assuming you've got some food drive. If you don't have that kind of food drive, you can create it. If you don't want to create it, you're definitely going to want to get some one-on-one help. I want to show real quick the slip leash because I see slip leashes wrong all the time. Dusty, come here, bud. Dusty takes his time. He's kind of on the older side. Let's see if I can get him to hop up and everybody be able to see him. Yep. Oh yeah, he looks thrilled. Okay. So the slip leash, it needs to go right behind. I don't really care with him because he's an old man. He's a good boy. But when I was training him, it's right behind the ears. And you have, I like the Mendota slip leashes. That's one of the ones I like. They're not too slick. They've got some grip. And you put it right behind the ears. If you feel behind the ears, you're going to feel a bone. And there's like a little divot. And you're going to try to put the leash in that divot right behind the ears. And look, it's right under the jaw. Okay, that's that soft part of the neck. I can actually feel the bump in his throat, and it's above that, so you don't get that flat trachea pressure that he was talking about. So it's above all of that, and you have so much more leverage with your dog, whether you're doing loose leash or short leash. So anyway,
what about the leather piece?
Yeah, you have to, the leather piece.
This one, it's always important too.
So let me just show it on my arm. It's easier. Dusty, break. You can go away now. Good job. Oh, it fell again. Sorry, Joshua. Okay, so the leather piece, which is on every slip leash, there's always a right and a wrong way. If your dog is walking on this side, the leather piece is on the bottom. Do you guys see that? Because that way, I mean, this is cinched up tight, but that way there's a little bit of slack that you guys can see. If I put it the other way and I do my pressure on off or whatever it is I'm doing and I do the slack, see how it doesn't loosen in the same way? So that leather piece needs to be on the bottom. That's how you fit it properly. And if my dog's on the right side, that's what it looks like.
So it should be on the side closest to your leg.
Leather piece on the bottom. Okay. Alrighty, and as far as sniffing goes, yeah, you can give sniff breaks, absolutely. You have your dog puppy stop, a 6-month-old stop and sit, good puppy, break, and you walk him towards the bush, towards the area. You let him sniff for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you put him back in gear.
2 to 3 usually. One right when you start the walk because you're trying to teach them to go potty outside.
He didn't mean 2 to 3 minutes, he meant 2 to 3 breaks.
Opportunities. One when you first start the walk, I get a sit, I pause, break to release them to go sniff. And if they don't go 30 seconds to a minute, just like Bethany said, I'll start walking. I'll do another one at the midway point of the walk, and that's usually where I do get my potty. If I get my potty then, I won't give one at the very end of the walk at the first place I originally gave. But if I don't get that middle walk potty, then I'll give a third opportunity at the very first spot I tried when I started my walk. So I'm trying to designate areas that I know they've frequented before, because that's where they're most likely to go back to in the future, because it smells like their urine.
And he's talking about potty stuff. If you want to do it from a behavioral standpoint, if you just passed by a few dogs, your puppy was barely holding it together and you were working him really hard, but he's a little wound up tight, that was really challenging, break, give him a sniff once the distractions have passed. No play though. Play on a walk is one of the worst habits you can accidentally do. I used to have a client that would let their puppy do zoomies in the front lawn before their walks, and it took her months to get the puppy over the hump, and that's even with corrections. It was so hard. So you definitely don't want to start a play habit.
They basically develop an association with what walk time is supposed to be as explosion of energy, and then they're going to walk as fast as they want to. They're not going to calmly walk. They're going to feed into that energy the entirety of the walk. That's what she meant by getting over that hump.
Yep.
Perfect. Long one?
Long one. Kristen. Oh, Kristen is a regular too. Hi, Kristen. All right. Thank you so much for advice last week. 11-week-old Cavachon. You guys can actually see that on previous stuff. Okay. We have tightened up the schedule with less playtime, more training, supervised playpen. We're still having lots of barking to get our attention, maybe more stubborn, pushy. The nipping has become less accidental.
More purposeful.
He sometimes nips specifically, even with the deflection of a toy. Well, okay. So here's my just honestly, what are your hands doing? Why are they so close to the puppy's face? If you're not playing, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to think. The only time my hands are close to my puppy's face is for cleaning, cleaning the face, put the leash on, feeding when we're training, and play. So I'm just wondering, what are the instances that your puppy keeps, nipping you?
If we have a puppy and we're hoping that they're going to be like this guy right here, Remy, who's going to lay in your lap for a straight hour, Remy is 1 in 10,000 puppies that, of all the shows we've had almost 100 shows. How many dogs have literally come onto the show and laid in our lap as long as he has without fussing?
1 out of 30.
If that even, maybe 1 out of 100.
Well, we always get the calmer puppies too.
And even they
are like, no.
Most dogs are not like Remy. This is a personality trait. This is how he is and how he's going to be. Oh, now he's up. Just disproving that.
I know.
Point,
well,
Remy.
I pet him.
But all I'm trying to say is that the likelihood of your puppy laying in your lap and getting pets for 10, 15, 20 minutes is super low. And I think that's what Bethany was hinting at as well, is if we're always touching our puppy's face and there's no task behind it, you're probably going to get nipped, because that's the type of puppy you have.
Yeah.
They are nippers. They're very mouthy.
And it goes on, and it proves that point even more.
Some dogs don't want that much affection.
No.
They actually want to work.
Or attention or access to you. So she asks, should I do more crate time? And yeah, I would get rid of the playpen completely right now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pushiness, and
barking.
A lot of demand barking. She said that she's been working on place and spatial pressure to have him calm down, and he's doing so much better, but sometimes he barks at the pressure and the movement. So this is this is a very demanding puppy here, Kristen, that you've got, and I would take away any extra stimulation for this puppy, which means double the crate time instead of the playpen. Get rid of the playpen. Tug and out is going much better, but he will still sometimes just stop playing and bark at us. Then you need to practice doing play. I know, I'm like, stop.
I'm like, you hiding it from me?
Sorry, but it's weird. Take it, read it. And whenever you're doing tug and out, whenever you sense the focus waning a bit, you need to go ahead and stop play. It'll take a few times, maybe more than a few times, but try to find that moment right before he's like, bark, 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 I'm done, this is boring, let's do something else. And you go ahead and stop play, do some slow patterning with him. I don't know if you're on our online school, but you could also go to probably YouTube and type in puppy meditation or dog meditation, and you'll see what hopefully I'll pop up. Hopefully, and you'll see what I mean by slower patterning. You can still use food, but you need to go pretty slow. No, I wasn't done reading it yet. Give me that. Okay. Do you have anything to say about the spatial pressure with the barking?
That's what I was going to jump in.
You go ahead. You go ahead and you do that. You do that. Go ahead.
Okay. I see that you're saying that the spatial pressure and the leash pressure is really challenging because you get barking for that. I'm curious to see if you're on a slip lead or not, because a lot of times if you just do leash pressure and spatial pressure with the harness, they look like one of those cows being airlifted down in a helicopter because you're just holding them up like that.
Wait, a cow?
That's what they do. They airlift cows down.
No, I know, but it's just really a cow. That's what you're going to go for. Okay.
So what I'm trying to go for, so really interrupted, is that when you put a slip lead on, you have head control. When you have a harness on, you have body control. So you could do your pressure and he's just hanging but still barking at you, and it might even create more frustration because you restrict movement without any form of head guidance or leverage. But with the slip, at least if you lift up that, you have more head control to kind of freeze him to where he's like bar bar, and you get that look where he's like, what the heck is happening? And we don't release right away. That's a common misconception. You actually hold for a couple seconds. You're not
maybe not a couple, but a second.
You're not lifting them so high as to choke him. You're just restricting movement. But what happens usually is you'll do that pause, and that's when you're like,
wait. The pause should never come off the ground.
Thank you. And when you do that pressure, you're not doing it to choke them out and like suffocate them. You're doing it to have them freeze. And sometimes you get this moment of like freeze, fight, and then they're like, big breath, slack. That's the moment you're looking for. You're waiting for them to give in. I just had a dog over the weekend, and she's a really, really great dog, but she's stubborn and sassy. And they, for 24 straight hours, had her barking. So we did place, we did stepping in, the spatial pressure and the lift, and it took about 10 to 15 of those in a row of the pressure up, hold, release before the dog was like, laid down, and she was like, what do I do now? I'm like, drop the leash, take a step away, and sit on that chair and see what happens. And the dog did actually settle for a prolonged period of time. So it took a lot to get over that hump that Bethany was mentioning for the other client, to get over that hump, to get him past that. And every day it will come back, but less and less each time until she kind of weans off that frustration, that stubbornness, and that demanding.
Here's the other side of that coin that's really important for everybody doing puppy training under 4 months old. Guys, the reason you use food is not to motivate and excite only. Well, first of all, I don't really want it to excite. I don't love to use it for that. It's to actually build impulse control. So, my question would be, when you're not doing this exercise, Kristen, is it like, good, pause, then reach in treat pouch, then deliver food.
Really good.
And then he's still doing his stationary work. Good. Step away, step two, step to the side. Good. Step away, step two, step to the other side. Then reach in pouch, then give food. And then you can give a couple pieces of food quickly. You need to be using your marker, yes, clicker, good, whatever it is, and creating time. Now it needs to vary. Don't make it always longer. The time needs to vary. Sometimes it's quick and then you're building time. Definitely work on that. Don't have your hand in the cookie jar when your dog is looking at you and you're training. Keep your hand out of your pouch. You either already have a piece of food in there already and it's a neutral arm until you're ready to use it, or the dog finishes what you've asked. You've used your marker. Yes, good, click, whatever. Pause, then reach in, then deliver food. Okay, so hopefully that will help as well. As far as the barking on the step 3, I wouldn't put she asked about our our 3 steps of barking, and when the dog gets really upset, step 3 is put in crate. Should she do this
Calmly put in crate.
Calmly put in crate. Should she do this during training? I would only do it if it got out of control.
I think,
because I would try to work through it.
I believe on our last week's episode, we had 2 different opinions, Bethany and myself, on this one.
I don't remember.
I go into full hour and a half of crate time, like it starts the
Oh,
cycle.
yeah.
And she said for a couple minutes. I want to clarify that. She said a couple minutes because she's going
gonna
off
bring
of
it back
you're
out.
not trying to suppress the emotion and ignore the problem, because crating for that hour and a half
Ignores.
is only meant for
You.
when they're actually mentally exhausted,
Yeah.
and they're doing it because they're fried
And
they can't do anymore.
and you're mentally
Yes.
exhausted. That's
so
what I
that's
meant.
more
You.
about just taking a pause and then coming back an hour and a half later and trying it again. In this situation for the barking, I don't think your puppy's exhausted. I think they're sassy. So I think maybe a couple minutes in the crate and then coming back in to work on it again, or not doing step 3 and using step 2 to work through it.
And how are they coming? Oh yeah, you're done, right?
I'm done. Kind
Yeah.
of. Sorry.
And how are they coming out of crate? Like a wild child?
That's a
like
big one.
leash on in crate, even at 11, 12 weeks old.
Mm-hmm.
Leash on in crate, even if you can't fully get the harness on, that's okay. Just like clip it to flat collar, stand up, use the crate door, have her pause, and when you say let's go and she bolts out, turn around, go back in. Do this 5 to 10 times until she walks out of crate.
Yep.
Because she's like, we're just doing the same thing over and over again, so it's not as exciting anymore. Then go to your bedroom door. Open, shut, till she walks out.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can put her harness on or whatever the routine may be. Like, let's really, we need to move on, but like there's a lot of little things here that we're trying to give you tips for. And you said, I feel like I'm doing a lot of right things. You are.
You're doing more than most people are doing.
You're doing a lot of right things. At this point, we are getting, this is actually kind of fun because at this point, it's not generic advice. Fun for us. Sorry, fun for us. Good clarification. Because at this point, we're able to really like kind of nitpick at what you've given us in the last few weeks. So it's not the generic advice not that our advice is ever generic, but I mean, it's not cookie cutter, you know what I mean? It's way more specific because you've gone through so many of the right things that we are really now tailoring it to your very pushy 11-week-old puppy. And Kristen says, thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Danielle says 19-week-old, what is 19 weeks? 4.5 months. 19-week-old Labradoodle, waking up at 3:30 a.m. whining. I take him out and put him back, but he won't stop whining.
Okay, normally we need a little bit more than that. Like, what time do you guys go to bed?
That's all she gets, though. Like, when they do these DMs, these prompts, that's all the room they get.
Okay, so
we have to do the best.
normally I want to know what time you guys are going to go to sleep. So let me just take from 3:30,
no water 3 hours,
1:30, 12:30.
Yeah, say it in your head. No water 3 hours before bed. Okay, so that's a big one. If you happen to play with your puppy, just give him a piece of ice. And Danielle says she's here actually. So the 3:30 whining, we're just gonna speculate, and then you can tell us if we're wrong. 9:30. 6 hours. Yep, that's right.
That's about what time you're going to get your puppy to wake up.
Yep. Right?
So most young puppies can't go above anywhere between 4 to 6 hours.
No.
5 to 6 hours.
19 weeks old.
Yeah, 6 hours.
Okay, I would say, well, you said 4 to 6. I was very confused. But anyway, and heavy barking. Yeah, 6 hours for a 19-week-old puppy, that's pretty standard. I would actually set your alarm for 15, 20 minutes before that. And so she doesn't think that barking is what keeps getting her out. That would be key for me.
And if you want to get her to sleep a little bit longer, I don't know if you go to bed at 9:30, but you might need to take her for one final potty at like 11:30 midnight. If you want to wake up at 6 a.m.
That's true. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So you're going to have to kind of play. You got to play.
Yep.
And if you are doing 9:30 and then you're getting your stuff ready for tomorrow and brushing your teeth and combing your hair and talking to your husband, and it's actually 10:30, 11 before you go to sleep,
your potty.
That's your last potty.
Yep.
If that's happening. And heavy barking. Yeah, this is tricky because, well, let me ask you this, Danielle. I go to bed too. Okay. But honestly, 6 hours is pretty normal. Try pulling water 3 hours before bedtime, and see if that gets you a little bit more. But yeah, 6 hours is pretty common for that. What was I going to say? Crap.
As he gets older, you can start tacking on a little bit more time, like 15 minutes at a time, of him waking up, whining, barking, and you maybe like, not the dog's head, but the hey on the top of the crate, like completely unemotional. Hey, settle down.
Oh,
go back to bed.
Yes, do that. And Danielle, sorry, I have a distraction in this part of my head, and I totally forgot.
As the dogs.
I know. I had my question came back to me, and I forgot. What was it? Crap! Don't keep talking. What else can she do?
You interrupted me. I lost my train of thought.
Oh, Danielle, can you tell us? Does she actually pee at 3:30? Like, because you said she whines when she comes back as well. Does she actually use the bathroom when you take her out at 3:30? I'm gonna assume yes until I hear from you.
We're thinking of full bladder exhaustion, not like a couple drips.
Yeah, exactly. But when she does whine, when you put her back in, that's when I would definitely be like, hey, knock it off. You could also try Pet Corrector. It squirts out air. Doesn't do it, it just squirts out air. There's also there's something else. I forgot the name of it, but it makes like a sharp noise. But something to just be like, hey, be quiet. I mean, I've had people tell me that they like lay in bed and they just take their shoe and they're like, no.
Oh yeah, the chancla.
Yes. Oh, paused due to connection. Okay, there we go. But anyway, just something to snap her out of it. He will go pee, but he's not doing this for the past 2 weeks. Then
he wasn't doing this.
Then it started again. Okay, it's puppy stuff. It's ebbs and flows, right? Yep. It's still same advice.
You can have the most amazing 2 months of your puppy's life with you, and then have 2 weeks of miserable, because puppies at adolescence, and by the way, the first stage of adolescence is between 4 and 6 months old. Yay, you're in the middle of that.
Okay, we got to move on. So Tammy says, I'm a little bit confused by this video that I saw, of us. The video was, when can you leave a puppy out of crate or playpen longer during the day? And we probably said 1.5 years. I'm a little bit confused. So what you're saying is that a dog has to stay in crate or a playpen for 2 years whenever he's not training, playing with a person, or going potty outside? Yeah?
That's what you're saying. If you want a dog that's not tearing up your house, not jumping over fences, not biting...
Feeling like the house is theirs and starts to become reactive.
Developing territory and becoming territorial.
Which happens between the 6-month and 14-month mark, typically.
When your final stage of adolescence is between 12 and 16 months, and that's when you get a lot of that adult adolescent behavior kicking in.
Which looks like aggression. It's territorial.
I have a client right now that they thought their dog was viciously aggressive. The dog just was territorial over the yard. I took that away. We started doing crate and more place. So controlling the space to where it wasn't theirs. Amazing after 2 sessions. Dogs see space as territory. Whether we want them to or not. Yeah. It's primal. Yeah. They're predators. They're primal creatures.
Now,
you're lying.
Now here, yes, thank you for that. Here is the exception, Tammy. When your puppy is out, 1-year-old, whatever it is, if it's more docile, like this one, has a natural temperament to be more docile, isn't chewing on things, and is pretty lazy. I actually don't know if Remy's lazy at home. But
oh yeah.
So if that's the case, cut some corners. See how it works out. Never leave your puppy alone, but see how it works out. But I would say most 1-year-old dogs are jumping at people when they come in the door. They're checking out the countertops. You've got to remove that unless you're ready to work with him. So how you kind of transition, you got to remember these are short clips that are posted online. So I'm glad you followed up with this question. The more elaborate version is pay attention and train your puppy how to be in your house and free. How you do that is you can do a long line attached to you. All right, like by long leash, I mean like a 10-footer. You could do 6 foot if you need to. If the puppy really struggles with getting into things, 6-foot leash, and you're holding it and you're going about your day. And when he does something wrong, you can address it immediately. If you can give your puppy a little more freedom, you can do the 10-footer depending on how your house looks. That way it's like you catch things early. Nope, come off the couch. Nope, don't even think about jumping up on the counter or sniffing the trash can. So that takes a lot more time and energy to explain, if I'm being totally honest. Puppy keeps going in crate at night. Hi, TikTok Annie. Good. That's perfect. They like their crate. They're settling right in. Some puppies will do that. Once it gets dark, they will put themselves to bed, and then once they see light, they're ready to go.
And that's also still when you should take them for potty before you go to bed.
Can you just let the short ones just go?
I don't think I can.
Can you? Because it's 1:30. Okay.
I don't think I can.
When a puppy holds their potty overnight was a video that we did, and we had a quick question. Just, my puppy sleeps well. but the second he wakes up, he has to pee. Should I be waking him up periodically and taking him out through the night? Hey,
One, I would make sure that we're limiting our water intake.
this is Hey, it's just Jess, by the way.
Oh, hey, it's just Jess. Anytime you have a dog that's having to pee frequently throughout the night, I don't know the age. Does it say the age? It just says puppy. So if this is a really young puppy, it is pretty common to have to do like a 2 a.m., 4 a.m. potty. But if it's an older dog, you're trying to limit water intake before they go to bed to prevent them needing to go potty in the middle of the night. I'm talking
Older
4
puppy.
to 6 months.
Older puppy, he meant.
Yes.
And so, I see it.
You have age?
No. So anyway, just I have to hurry. Okay, you're so bad at this. You know, I'm bad at it, and you're impossible at it.
I don't have a hurry setting.
So puppy sleeps really well. Second he wakes up, has to pee. I had to reread it because it felt like he got off topic of what it is that you asked. If he's whining, try to prevent the whining so he doesn't think whining is what got him out of crate. But yes, you do need to take him out if he needs to pee. And that's the question. That's it.
And if you want to make it so he lasts longer,
you already said that.
hold back water a little bit before.
You already
I'm
said
connecting the dots. You got to bring it full circle. You got to read that one. That's a good one. Yeah, do it. I led them into it now. If you don't, I will.
Oh my God. I don't even want to say this out loud because for some reason it makes me uncomfortable, but it's eat my apes.
Eat my apes. Oh, okay.
Anyway.
I didn't actually read the name. Kimberly's dying over here. You got her with that one, that's for sure.
Isn't withholding water bad for puppies? Not if they're getting the amount of water they need throughout the day. It's not that we're withholding, we're spacing it out. Yeah. And that is all that it needs to be.
About that?
All right. Jean says, I have a Yorkie puppy, 6 months old, extremely hyped. She will not calm down. I can get her attention long enough to interact with her. What can I do? She's not interested in treats. Any suggestions that can coax her behavior? Yes, actually. A really quick version is she needs to start working for her food. She doesn't see food as any sort of value. She probably sees you kind of more as fun, potentially, and like you're gonna hold her, like this cute little thing here. But this cute little thing here has 2 modes. Remy has a calmer working mode, and he has I'll lay on your lap for 5 hours mode, and it doesn't ruin his temperament, which is a miracle. And so you can develop that with your dog, but what you need to do is build food drive so your puppy doesn't eat unless they eat from your hand. Keep it simple, few steps backwards, come good, handful of their food. Even if it's wet food, get gloves or handful of kibble. 10 minutes every day for a week for all of her meals. Then add in sit and place. Actually, place is the big one. And you'll build on that and she'll start to work for food, which will give you leverage in so many other areas. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back same time, same place next week.
Awkward smile.
Awkward smile.